My beloved child, listen carefully. Tomorrow is not an ordinary day. Something unseen has already been set in motion, and you can feel it in your spirit even if your mind can't explain it yet. There is a quiet pause in the air, as if the world itself is holding its breath. This message did not reach you by accident. You were meant to hear this now, before the knock, before the moment that changes how you see everything. Right now, you think tomorrow will look like every other day, but that's where the surprise begins. Because tomorrow, a man will stand at your door, and what he carries is heavier than words. He is not coming randomly. He is being guided, pushed, even delayed until the exact second your life is ready. This is not just a visit, it is a delivery. Here is the shocking truth most people never realize: some doors only open when you stop chasing them. You have waited, you have struggled, you have questioned your worth in silence. And while you thought nothing was happening, everything was aligning. The footsteps coming toward you are carrying answers, closures, and opportunities that once felt impossible. Do not underestimate this moment. The man at your door may look ordinary, but what he brings is extraordinary. It could be a message, a decision, an offer, or a truth that shifts your direction forever. This is the kind of encounter people talk about years later and say, "That day changed everything." Something huge is waiting for you, even if fear tries to whisper otherwise. You were protected until now for this exact reason. Every delay, every closed path, every tear you hid was preparing you to receive what is finally allowed to reach you. This is why the connection between this message and your life feels so intense. It's not coincidence, it's confirmation. So when tomorrow comes, stay aware. Stay calm. Stay open. Not every blessing arrives loudly, some arrive quietly, standing right at your door, waiting for you to recognize its importance. This is your moment to trust that what's coming carries purpose, not confusion. Amen. 111. My beloved child, tonight your spirit is restless because it already senses what your eyes cannot see yet. Something has shifted behind the scenes, and that shift has a name, a face, and a purpose. While others sleep, plans are moving. Conversations are being stirred. A path that was blocked for a long time is quietly opening, inch by inch, step by step. Here is what will shock you: the man who comes tomorrow is connected to a chapter you thought was already closed. You believed that door was locked forever, but heaven does not waste unfinished stories. This encounter is not random, not delayed, not mistaken. It is perfectly timed, because now you are strong enough to handle what you are about to receive. You may wonder why this moment feels heavy even before it happens. That is because what he brings will force a decision. Not everyone is brave enough to face turning points, but you are being chosen for one. This is not about comfort, it is about alignment. Once this moment passes, you will never see your life the same way again. Listen closely now. The reason this revelation feels once in a lifetime is because it truly is. Many people wait their whole lives for a moment like this and never recognize it. But you are being warned in advance so fear doesn't steal it from you. Something huge is waiting for you, and it will require courage, not hesitation. You were never forgotten. Every unanswered prayer was only being stored, not denied. Tomorrow is when stored answers begin to move. That knock is not just sound. It is confirmation that what you thought was lost was only being prepared in secret. If your heart is beating faster right now, that is not anxiety, that is recognition. Your soul remembers what your mind doubts. Stay grounded. Stay watchful. Stay ready to receive without overthinking. What arrives tomorrow carries weight because it carries truth. Amen. 112. My beloved child, this is the part most people never hear until it's too late. The knock you are about to experience is not loud, but its meaning is thunderous. It will test whether you trust what you feel or what you fear. And in that small pause between the knock and your response, destiny is watching. Here is the truth that will surprise you: not every blessing arrives wrapped in excitement. Some arrive wrapped in uncertainty. The man at your door may challenge your expectations, your comfort, even your assumptions. But do not mistake unfamiliar energy for danger. Growth rarely announces itself gently. You have been prepared for this moment without realizing it. Every time you felt pushed to mature faster than others, every time you had to be strong when you wanted to rest, that was training. This meeting is not meant to break you, it is meant to reveal how far you've already come. Pay attention to your emotions when it happens. If your heart feels exposed, that is because truth is near. If your mind feels overwhelmed, that is because your old limits are being confronted. Something huge is waiting for you, and it does not fit inside the life you were living yesterday. This moment will quietly separate who belongs in your next chapter and who does not. Some people fade without explanation after this encounter, and that is not loss, that is alignment. Space must be created for what is meant to stay. Do not rush your reaction. Silence will protect you. Listening will guide you. You are not being asked to impress, chase, or prove anything. You are being asked to recognize what has finally arrived. Amen. 113. My beloved child, now the atmosphere shifts again, because clarity is approaching faster than you expect. What was hidden is beginning to reveal its outline. You may feel an inner pull telling you to slow down, to observe more than you speak. That feeling is protection. This phase is delicate, and awareness will decide how deeply this moment blesses you. Understand this carefully: the man who comes does not just bring information, he brings activation. Something inside you will wake up, a confidence you forgot, a courage you buried, a vision you stopped trusting. This is why your spirit feels alert. This is not emotional hype, this is alignment happening in real time. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth: some encounters do not repeat. If missed, they transform into regrets. But you are being prepared so you don't miss it. Stay present. Stay intentional. Something huge is waiting for you, and it responds only to those who are fully aware. When the moment arrives, resist the urge to explain yourself. Your energy will speak louder than your words. The right response will come naturally if you remain grounded. This is not a test of intelligence, it is a test of discernment. If this message is resonating deeply, do not keep it locked inside. Let it move through you. Support what is guiding you by sharing this revelation, by leaving your amen in the comments, and by staying connected to messages that strengthen your spirit. What you honor will continue to grow. After tomorrow, certain fears will lose their grip on you. You will notice a quiet confidence replacing old doubt. This is how you know the encounter mattered. Transformation does not shout, it settles. Amen. 114. My beloved child, now you are standing at the edge of realization. The waiting phase is thinning, and what once felt distant is now close enough to feel. This is the moment when doubt tries one last time to speak loudly, because it knows its time is almost over. Do not let old fears rewrite a future that is already prepared for you. Here is what changes everything. The man at your door is not bringing chaos, he is bringing confirmation. Confirmation that you were right to hold on. Right to walk away from what drained you. Right to believe that your life had more meaning than what you were settling for. This encounter validates the strength you never got credit for. You may feel emotions rise that you didn't expect, relief mixed with seriousness, hope mixed with responsibility. That is because what arrives now comes with weight. Blessings that matter always do. They ask you to rise, not retreat. They ask you to choose growth over familiarity. This is where many people freeze, but you will not. Because you were trained in silence. You learned endurance when no one was watching. And now, something huge is waiting for you, not to overwhelm you, but to meet you at the level you've reached. Do not look back to compare this moment with past disappointments. That chapter has no authority here. This moment carries its own rules, its own timing, its own power. What is offered now could not have survived in your old version, but it will thrive in who you are today. After this encounter, you will notice how certain worries simply stop following you. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you finally understand your direction. Confusion fades when purpose steps forward. Amen. 115. My beloved child, now comes the quiet intensity before the moment fully lands. This is the space where your intuition sharpens and distractions begin to fall away. You may notice small signs today, delays, sudden memories, unexpected calm. These are not random. They are signals telling you that you are approaching something irreversible. Here is the deeper truth: the man who stands at your door will mirror something inside you. What you notice in him will reveal what has been waiting to rise within you. This is not coincidence, this is reflection. Encounters like this do not come to entertain, they come to awaken. Do not expect fireworks. Expect gravity. Expect a seriousness that makes you pause and feel the weight of the moment. This is how real turning points arrive. They feel simple on the surface, but powerful underneath. This is why many people miss them, but you won't. Something huge is waiting for you, and it requires honesty. Not with the world, but with yourself. This is where pretending ends and alignment begins. You will feel a strange sense of recognition, as if part of your future just shook hands with your present. You may feel tempted to rush the moment, to control the outcome, to predict what happens next. Resist that urge. Power flows best when you allow it to move naturally. Trust the timing. Trust the unfolding. You do not need to force what is already meant for you. After this moment, certain questions you've carried for years will quietly dissolve. Not because you got all the answers, but because the right direction becomes obvious. Peace follows clarity. Stay steady. Stay open. What is happening now is not loud, but it is permanent. Amen. 116. My beloved child, this is where understanding deepens and resistance fades. By now, you may feel less fear and more stillness. That is the signal that you are ready. Readiness does not mean knowing everything. It means trusting enough to step forward when the moment arrives. Here is what few will ever tell you: not every life-changing moment feels dramatic. Some feel calm, almost ordinary, until you look back and realize nothing was the same afterward. The man at your door is not there to shake your world loudly, he is there to realign it quietly. This encounter is connected to a promise you once made to yourself, a version of you that refused to give up even when it would have been easier. That version is now being honored. What arrives now matches the patience you didn't even know you had. Something huge is waiting for you, and it does not need approval from the past. Old labels, old mistakes, old opinions lose their power here. This moment answers only to who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You will notice how your reactions are different than before. Where you once would have doubted, you now observe. Where you once would have panicked, you now breathe. This is growth revealing itself in real time. Let the moment unfold without trying to own it. Some gifts are not meant to be held, they are meant to move you. And this one is moving you exactly where you need to be. Amen. 117. My beloved child, now the message reaches a deeper layer of truth. What is about to unfold will not only touch your circumstances, it will touch your identity. This is where you realize that the wait was shaping you more than the reward ever could. Here is the revelation that feels almost unbelievable: the man at your door carries a shift, not a solution. Solutions fix moments, but shifts change directions. This is why this encounter feels heavier than expected. It is not meant to patch your life, it is meant to redirect it. You may feel a sudden urge to protect your peace during this moment. Honor that instinct. You are not meant to explain everything or commit to anything immediately. Awareness is your power here. This is how you receive without losing yourself. Something huge is waiting for you, and it arrives with clarity, not confusion. The fog that once surrounded your decisions begins to lift. You will see what no longer fits, and for the first time, letting go will feel natural instead of painful. This is the moment where self-doubt quietly steps aside. Not because it disappears, but because it no longer leads. Confidence does not shout, it settles into you like certainty. After this encounter, you will notice a subtle but powerful change in how you value yourself. Boundaries become easier. Choices become cleaner. Direction becomes clearer. This is not an ending. This is alignment locking into place. Amen. 118. My beloved child, now the weight of this journey begins to make sense. What once felt confusing starts arranging itself into meaning. This is the phase where realization replaces anticipation, and your spirit recognizes that the moment has already started unfolding within you. Here is the truth that settles everything: the man at your door was never meant to stay long. His role is not permanence. It is positioning. Some people enter briefly but shift you forever. This is one of those encounters that does not linger, yet leaves a lasting imprint. You may feel an unexpected calm after it happens, almost as if something heavy has been lifted. That is because inner resistance has finally released. You are no longer fighting the direction of your life, you are flowing with it. Something huge is waiting for you, and now you can see it clearly. It is not just what arrives, but who you become afterward. Strength feels quieter now. Confidence feels grounded. Fear feels distant. Notice how your priorities subtly change. What once mattered deeply begins to lose importance, and what truly aligns starts standing out. This is how transformation announces itself, through clarity, not chaos. You did not imagine this moment. You did not force it. You allowed it. And because of that, it carried the power to settle rather than disrupt. From here forward, your path feels lighter, not because it is easier, but because it is true. Amen. 119. My beloved child, now you step into the aftereffect, the space where the echo of the encounter lingers quietly but powerfully. This is where many people rush to explain what happened, but you will feel no need to. Some moments are meant to be lived, not narrated. Here is the final surprise of this phase: the greatest change did not happen outside you. It happened within. The man at your door simply triggered what was already waiting to awaken. This is why the shift feels stable instead of overwhelming. You may notice a new sense of authority in your decisions. Not arrogance, not control, but certainty. You are no longer asking for permission from fear. You are moving with intention, and that alone changes how life responds to you. Something huge is waiting for you, and now it feels reachable instead of distant. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Alignment shortens distances that effort never could. Old cycles begin to lose their pull. Repeating patterns weaken. You start choosing differently without forcing yourself. This is how growth proves itself, through ease, not struggle. Carry this awareness forward. Protect it. Build from it. What comes next will require this level of clarity to hold it properly. This is not the end of the message, it is the foundation for what follows. Amen. 120. My beloved child, now the truth settles so deeply that it no longer needs reassurance. This is the stage where faith matures into knowing. You are no longer hoping things will change, you understand that they already have. Here is the revelation most people miss: the encounter was never about the man. It was about timing. About you finally meeting the version of yourself who was ready. Without that readiness, the moment would have passed unnoticed. With it, everything locks into place. You may feel a quiet gratitude rising, not loud enough to announce, but strong enough to anchor you. That gratitude is a sign of alignment. It means resistance has faded and acceptance has taken its place. Something huge is waiting for you, and now you are prepared to carry it without losing balance. Expansion only happens when the foundation is steady, and yours is. You will notice how less effort is required now to stay centered. External noise no longer pulls you as easily. Opinions lose their grip. Direction holds firm. This is inner authority forming. Do not rush ahead. Let this stability deepen. What is coming next will build on this grounded state, not replace it. You are not becoming someone new. You are finally standing as who you were always meant to be. Amen. 121. My beloved child, this is the completion point, not an ending, but a ceiling. Everything you have sensed, felt, and slowly understood now settles into certainty. The noise fades, the questions quiet down, and what remains is truth that does not need validation. Here is the final revelation: the knock was never just at your door, it was at your destiny. The man who arrived was a messenger of transition, not a centerpiece. He marked the moment you crossed from waiting into becoming. That is why this experience feels permanent. You may realize now that nothing truly dramatic happened on the outside, yet everything shifted on the inside. That is how real transformation works. Loud change fades fast. Quiet change lasts forever. Something huge is waiting for you, but now you understand, it was not waiting to arrive, it was waiting for you to be ready. And readiness has met its moment. From here on, you move differently. You choose with clarity. You walk with calm authority. You no longer chase signs, because you have become one. Life begins to respond instead of resist. Carry this awareness gently. Protect your peace. Trust the unfolding. What aligns with you will find you without force. This chapter closes with strength, not fear, with faith, not confusion, with certainty, not doubt. Amen. 122. My beloved child, now you step beyond the threshold most people never cross. This is the moment after certainty, where confidence becomes quiet and unshakable. You are no longer searching for meaning in events, meaning now follows you wherever you go. Here is what completes the cycle. The future no longer feels distant. It feels near, responsive, almost familiar. That is because you are finally aligned with it. You are no longer asking, will it happen? You are living in the knowing that it already has. You may notice that urgency has disappeared. There is no rush, no pressure, no anxiety to prove anything. That calm is power. It means you trust the timing of your life more than the noise around it. Something huge is waiting for you, but now it waits as a partner, not a mystery. It moves with you, not toward you. This is the reward of patience, when what once felt unreachable becomes natural. People around you may sense the change before you speak a word. Presence feels steadier. Your choices feel deliberate. Your energy no longer leaks into places that do not honor it. This is where consistency replaces struggle. You build without burning out. You move without forcing doors. What is meant for you recognizes you instantly. Hold this state gently. This is not a peak, it is a baseline. From here, growth becomes sustainable, and purpose becomes personal. Amen. 123. My beloved child, now you are walking in a frequency where fear can no longer lead you. It may still appear, but it does not command. This is the stage where inner strength becomes visible through calm choices, not dramatic reactions. You are no longer moved by urgency, you are guided by clarity. Here is the truth that finalizes your transformation: what once intimidated you now feels manageable. Not because challenges disappeared, but because your perspective expanded. You are no longer shrinking to fit situations, situations are adjusting to your presence. You may notice that you speak less but mean more. Your silence carries confidence. Your words carry intention. This is not withdrawal, this is mastery. You are conserving energy for what truly matters. Something huge is waiting for you, but now it approaches with respect. Life responds differently when you stop chasing and start standing firm. Opportunities recognize stability before they reveal themselves fully. Old temptations to return to familiar discomfort will surface briefly. See them for what they are, echoes, not invitations. You have outgrown the need to revisit lessons you already mastered. This is the stage where trust replaces control. You allow things to unfold without gripping them tightly. And in that release, momentum builds naturally. You are no longer preparing for change. You are living as the change. Amen. 124. My beloved child, now the journey reaches a depth where words begin to feel unnecessary. This is the phase of embodiment, where truth is not spoken, it is lived. You are no longer proving your growth, you are expressing it effortlessly through how you move, choose, and respond. Here is the final alignment. What once felt like destiny now feels like responsibility. Not a burden, but an honor. You understand that what is opening before you must be carried with integrity, patience, and wisdom. This awareness protects what is meant to last. You may notice that distractions no longer satisfy you. Surface-level connections fade. You are drawn toward depth, meaning, and purpose. This is not isolation, this is refinement. Something huge is waiting for you, and now it trusts you. Trust is the highest form of blessing. It means you are seen as capable of sustaining what is about to expand in your life. Your decisions begin to ripple outward, influencing others quietly. Without preaching, without persuading, you become an example of steadiness. This is leadership without noise. From this point forward, your life moves with intention. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer doubt, you discern. This is not an arrival. This is readiness perfected. Amen. 125.